your memories. Well, unfortunately, that idea is a little troublesome because memory loss doesn't necessarily make you a brand new, different person. And there's also the slight problem of false memories. These studies always freak me out. Researchers bring in participants and show them photographs from their childhood and ask them to tell a story about what happened in the photo. Except one of the photos has been photoshopped. It didn't really happen. But instead of noticing this fake image, people tend to just make up a story and remember it as if it really happened. A couple weeks ago, I went with Jake Chudnow, who does the music here on Vsauce, to the Royal Observatory in Greenwich. We saw the 7th largest telescope on Earth, and while there, this song was playing. It's called Long Player. Composed by Jem Finer, Long Player is constructed by combining different recordings of singing bulls. They're combined in different ways so as to never repeat for 1,000 years. Long Player began in 1999, and it will not finish. The song will not be over for 1,000 years. Literally, billions of humans will be born and die before Long Player is finished playing. The sound waves, the compression waves that send Long Player into your ear aren't that much unlike you, your waves of atoms, temporarily organizing atoms or molecules, but not really causing any one atom or molecule to stay along with you for the entire journey. Just as the ocean waves and bells ring, as Alan Watts said, the Earth peoples. In a way, you are a slow compression wave moving through Earth's matter. But what does your wave sound like? Does it make people want to dance? It probably won't echo around for centuries after you're gone, but maybe, while you are here, you can get stuck in the head of some other temporary wave. An earworm that they like and don't want to get rid of. That'd be a nice type of wave to be. But can music make you smarter? And can I play an instrument? Well, to find out, follow James and I over to the YouTube channel Head Squeeze, where we take a look at those questions. And as always, thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Seriously, follow us over. You can click
seriously,
the screen
actually,
right
that's
now.
a very good point.
There's
Seriously.
also a link I'll put in the description, so it's like a piece of cake, guys. Come on. We'll be over there waiting.
He's over there, I'm over there, I'm with him here, and he's with me over there.
Wait, what?
Hello everybody, and look at this. For the very first time in the Head Squeeze Tatty Armchair, a guest. It is from Vsauce, Michael Stevens.
Hello.
And you probably thought, in fact, that this was a virtual chair, the work of some idle cartoonist, but it isn't. Look, it's real. It's made from excellent chair-making materials, leather and wood. And Michael Stevens, in fact, is real. I didn't know you could play the clarinet, actually.
I've got some tricks up my sleeve.
Have you indeed? What Michael is going to do here is help me, later on, answer the question, can music make you smarter? In order to help me answer that question, I think you should go to the woodshed, which is conveniently positioned over there,
Oh.
where you can practice.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll be right back.
Okay. Don't know the magazines behind the blocks of wood. So, can music, in fact, make you smarter? Now, we need to start with a few basics, such as, what is music? We all think we know what it is, we all understand it innately, and it's everywhere. Even your pocket electronic device will play you a little tune when you turn it on. The word music actually comes from the Greek. It merely means the art of the muses, but that's not really terribly helpful when it comes to understanding what it is. The composer Vsauce defined it as organised sound. That's what made music music and not merely a racket, such as the sort of stuff that teenagers listen to these days. And for music to be organised sound, it has to have certain elements that we understand, such as pitch. Pitch is merely the position of a note relative to other notes, higher or lower. And in scientific terms, that's all to do with vibration, frequency, wavelength, that sort of thing. And there's tone and timbre, which are the qualities of a particular sound. What makes one instrument sound different from another makes one player sound different from another, even on the same instrument. And then, of course, there's rhythm. Rhythm is the length of the notes, the weight of the notes, the amount of attack, the accents, and, of course, the gaps in between the notes. And then there's harmony, the arrangement of notes with each other, and counterpoint, music doing this or doing this. That's what music is. It is organised sound. Very, very sophisticatedly organised, of course. Now we need to talk about the so-called Mozart effect, which was the result of some research done in 1993 at a university in California by Frances Rauscher. She took 36 students, divided them up into 3 groups. The first group listened to a Mozart sonata for 2 pianos. The next group listened to a straightforward relaxation tape, and the final group listened to nothing at all, complete silence. The findings seem to suggest that those who had listened to the Mozart were better at a subsequent spatial temporal task, that is, the ability to manipulate 3-dimensional shapes in space inside the mind. In this case, it was predicting how an origami snowflake would look once it had been unfolded. Now, in fairness to Rauscher and all her colleagues, her conclusion wasn't what I'm about to say, or rather what the press subsequently claimed, which was that Mozart made your children more intelligent. And that caused a great rush on Mozart CDs. Mozart went straight to the top of the charts and all the rest of it. What the research actually showed was that listening to Mozart created a 15-minute boost in spatial reasoning. And in fact, any music that excites you or stimulates you will have the same effect. There is a Led Zeppelin effect, there is a Rolling Stones effect, there may even be a Gary Barlow effect for all we know. But the fact is, even banging your fist repeatedly on the table is enough to stimulate your mind and improve spatial reasoning briefly. But it is briefly. I'd like to contradict myself now and say, in fact, music can make you smarter, but it's not because of the Mozart effect. It's no good just listening to music. You have to play music to make yourself smarter. And this is where Michael comes back in. Much improved. Thing is, he hasn't really just learned to play the clarinet in a mythical woodshed just over there in the corner of the studio. He's been doing it since he was 10 years old. And at some time, he managed to fit in a degree in neuropsychology.
Right. Well, I haven't played the clarinet in 10 years, so I'm not quite where I would like to be.
Right.
But you're right, playing music might be able to make you smarter. This depends on what we mean by smarter. What we know is that musicians tend to have corpus callosums that are about 15% larger. Those are the fibers that connect the 2 hemispheres of your brain. They also have larger cerebellums where motor skills rest, and about 130% more gray matter, which is where a lot of the cell bodies with their axons and dendrites exist.
All from playing a musical instrument.
Seems that way.
Because I learned to play the piano at a fairly young age, and that probably explains why I'm very intelligent and very practical.
Of course.
Quite charming as well.
Being young makes a big difference because your brain is more plastic and can grow at that point much more easily.
Right, as opposed to when you're older, when generally it shrinks and becomes stiff and uncomprehending.
Exactly.
So what actually happens inside your brain when you're learning to play a musical instrument? Well, the brain is made up of billions and billions of neurons, which are connected together by synapses, and messages can pass between the neurons. They're called neurotransmitters, and they can tell your brain whether you want to do something or indeed when you don't want to do something. Neuron communicates with neuron through the synapse. That's the basics. But this is quite complicated, so a good analogy is to imagine those neurons as a lot of rowdy school children running around in a yard. The musician, the practicing musician, is a teacher who comes out and rings a bell for order. At first, only the really well-behaved, well-brought-up neurons in their sensible shoes go and stand in the line. All the brattish ones in their trainers are still running around the yard. But as the bell is rung more, they eventually come and stand in line. They then form this neural